Here's every single country to participate in a World Cup final. Alright, now here's who won. Alright, now of all those teams who participated in a World Cup final, participating this year, Italian football is in crisis mode. A team that was once the pride of their nation, home to 4 World Cup titles, is barely hanging by a thread as they've missed their 3rd consecutive World Cup, and that to an expanded 48-team World Cup. But how did we get here? Well, here's the story of the painful downfall of Italian football. ITALIA, 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 questa è... Italy has not made a knockout round since 2006, when they won it all. And if they miss the 2030 edition, that streak extends to 28 years. How is it that a nation with the 4th most World Cup appearances ahead of giants such as England and France has fallen this far? To answer this question, we must go back 20 years ago, to the year 2006. Italy had advanced all the way to the final, and after a 1-1 tie with France, the game went into penalties. Italy had made all 4 of their penalties, and having the chance to ice the game, defender Fabio Grosso lined up for the kick, with goalkeeper Fabian Barthez waiting to give his team one more fighting chance. With the pressure mounting, Grosso made the kick,
and that's all. And Grosso has done that job!
And became a hero to approximately 58 million people. This was the peak of Italian football. Or so it seemed. Let's rewind the clock 10 years, to 1996, and look at the highest paid players. These players are Roberto Baggio of AC Milan, Fiorentina's Gabriel Battista, George Weah, also from AC Milan. From 1991 to 2005, an Italian team appeared in the final 10 times. Now, no Italian club has won the tournament since 2010. In fact, here's a list from 1999 showing the most valuable clubs. Alright, let's fast forward 8 years to 2007, with the highest paid players and most valued clubs. Forbes will be cited for team valuations throughout this video. As you can see, while there are 3 Italian clubs in the top 10 most valued clubs, in the list of most valued players, only 1 Italian player and 1 club appears, compared to 3 clubs in 1996. So there were already cracks showing, but then Calcio happened. While the national team was lifting the World Cup, the consultant agency GA World found that some of the most successful clubs in the Serie A were caught cheating. These included clubs such as Juventus, AC Milan, Fiorentina, all were involved in mass corruption. As a result, there were harsh punishments. Juventus, one of the crown jewels of the Serie A, was relegated, while other teams faced severe penalties. A scandal of this mass destroyed Serie A's brand fast. TV rights values plummeted by an estimated 40 million euros in the following season, with the value of the league dropping by over 200 million. In 2008, the Malandry Law was passed to stop something like this from happening in the future. It shortened broadcasting cycles and banned broadcasting monopolies from making long-term investments, meaning that a club like Juventus had the same exposure ability as one of the bottom-tier clubs. Kind of. Causing them to lag behind their European peers. By 2009, the EPL had amassed more than 500 million euros compared to the Serie A in revenue. In 2006, La Liga was 100 million euros behind Serie A. By 2009, in 2010, the top 10 most valued clubs only had 1 Italian. Top 10 highest paid. Speaking of 2010, the World Cup was held for the first time in Africa. Italy was placed in a group with Paraguay, Slovakia, and New Zealand, a group that they should have easily won. But Italy conceded a goal to Paraguay's Alcaraz first, before De Rossi tied it in the 63rd minute to draw. Italy let New Zealand of all teams score early, before the Azzurri tied it in the 29th minute, only to not score at all end the game with a draw. Leading result to move on, Italy conceded 2 goals and didn't score until the 81st minute, only to let Slovakia's Kopunek score in the 89th minute. Italy scored in extra time, but it was no use. After winning the World Cup, Italy didn't manage to win a single game in a group with no team ranked above 31st. This was the worst result that Italy produced ever, and it was the first time they didn't make the knockout since 1974. Another observation I made is that tournament, the Italian club with the most players, funny enough, that squad was almost entirely international players. Meanwhile, Chelsea, Liverpool, Barcelona, they all had more players represented. Italy was certainly not dominating. In the 98 World Cup, they had 70 players represent their league, but things would only get worse from here. In 2010, the captain, Fabio Cannavaro, from the 06 title run, retired from the international stage and completely left the sport in the summer of 2011. The captaincy was then handed to 34-year-old goalkeeper Gianluigi Buffon just in time for the 2012 Euros. The Euro was played in Poland and Ukraine. Italy was put in a group with Spain, Ireland, and Croatia. Spain drew Italy 1-1 after answering a Di Natale goal. The Italians then drew Croatia with the exact same scoreline, before defeating Ireland 2-0 thanks to goals from Cassano and Balotelli. Italy met England in the quarterfinals. It was scoreless up until penalties. England led 2-1 in penalties before botching their next 2. This gave Italy the chance, and they scored their next 3 penalties. Move on. In the semis against Germany, Balotelli scored 2 goals. The Germans didn't even score until the 92nd minute, my bad. Italy was going to the final to face the defending World Cup champion Spain. It wasn't even close. Spain carried their clean sheet to the final with a 4-0 win. Speaking of Spain, how much revenue did their domestic league make in the 2011-2012 season? Okay, England reached 2.9 billion euros. By 2014, the team was in a weaker position, and entering the World Cup in Brazil, they were put in the same group as Uruguay, England, and Costa Rica. The Azuris started strongly, beating England 2-1. Tied 1-1, Balotelli struck in the 50th minute. They then proceeded to face Costa Rica. Yes, that Costa Rica team. Okay, all they needed to do was win or get some result, and there was a very likely chance of them advancing. Italy couldn't get anything going. They came close on several occasions, but in the 44th minute, Costa Rica's Brian Ruiz came in to score the game's only goal. Okay, maybe next time against, Uruguay. Italy held on for a long time, deep into the second half, but the Uruguayans broke through thanks to Diego Godin's goal at the 81st minute. Italy had lost to both teams' captains and were eliminated. Against Belgium, the Italians struck first before Pelé gave in insurance in the 93rd minute. They then got lucky once again with Eder's go-ahead goal, making them qualify for the knockouts. Also, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this, but I'm sorry if I'm absolutely butchering this name. Anyway, they lost to Ireland, but it really didn't matter. Once they got to the knockouts, they faced Spain. And this time, Italy shut out Spain 2-0. That got them to the quarterfinals, where Germany took them to penalties. After struggling, Germany made 4 penalties straight, while Italy missed to and fro to get knocked out earlier than they had anticipated. By 2016, Syria had 1.9 billion euros. Nice, but let's see how the neighbors were doing. Also, it's been 10 years. We need to check on the 10 highest valued players and clubs. The Azzurri hired a new manager after the short tenure of Antonio Conte. This is where I should mention that from 2006 to 2016, Italy had 4 managers. Compare that to Germany, the defending champion at the time, who had 1 in Joachim Löw, who would serve until 2021. Brazil had 3, Spain with 2, and France with 3. Though Argentina would also have 5 in this period and managed to make a World Cup final. But if we stretch it to present day, as you can see, Germany and France have stability and identity. Sure, Spain and Argentina won World Cups, but Italy didn't have a single manager that lasted above 5 years. Argentina has stability with Scaloni since 2018. November 10th, 2017, Italy faced an up-and-coming Sweden squad. Buffon did a great job holding down the fort throughout regulation. Unfortunately, in the 61st minute, Sweden was able to sneak past a goal. There was always the second leg. If Italy won, maybe, just maybe they'd qualify. The Azzurri, four-time World Cup champions, knocked out for the first time since 1958. Right after, Italy sacked their manager again and replaced with an intern, caretaker, however you want to call it, manager in Di Baggio. If it was any consolation, Italy did manage to get bronze in the U20 Cup. Though again, Italy wasn't a historically strong U20 side compared to their peers. The Dutch had also failed to qualify the 2018 World Cup, not even making it to the second round. The Euros had once again arrived. This time, due to COVID, it was being played everywhere. And captaining the Azzurri was Giorgio Cellini. And once again, let's check on the league revenue. Let's also throw in a league from across the pond, called the MLS. Oh dear. Thankfully, Italy was the host. Well, for their group stages, Italy clocked 3 against Turkey, 3 against Switzerland, and 1 against Wales. A clean sheet and not a single goal given up. Was this team back? Italy faced Austria. After no score in regulation, both Chiesa and Pessina netted 2 to win 2-1 before facing Belgium. But once again, Italy put 2 first before Lukaku scored to keep it a 1-score game, and Italy moved on to the semis. They faced Spain, where they took the team to penalties. After missing the first, Italy went on to make 4 straight to win 4-2. They made it to the final to face England in Wembley with over 60,000 in the stands. Game over. Or was it? They did it. They're back. They even had a 37-game win streak, by the way. Well, hold on. To start, the best players were 36 and 34 respectively. And they were lacking a striker. Well, one that would keep them on par with the big fish. The defending champions, Argentina, has Julian Alvarez. France has Mbappe. Norway with Holland. Cunha for Brazil. Kane for England. For Italy, Ciro Immobile. Yeah, he's a great player, but not world class, at least compared to the names mentioned. So when the Blue faced North Macedonia in March 2022, they did not do well, losing 1-0 after a goal was scored in the 92nd minute. This was unprecedented. One of the most winningest nations in World Cup and football history was missing the big dance for the second consecutive time. Both Cellini and Bonucci retired and the keys were handed to Gianluigi Donnarumma, with Donnarumma missing the expanded 48-team World Cup. He will be 31 when the next chance at a title arises. Italy qualified for the most recent Euro. They beat Albania before losing to Spain and tying Croatia. They limped to the knockout, falling to Switzerland. And as you know, they lost to Bosnia to miss the expanded 48-team World Cup. Today, these are the 11 highest paid footballers and highest value clubs. As for league revenue, this is where things stand in the big 2026. Serie A has more than doubled revenue in the past 20 years, but they are nowhere near their neighboring giants. MLS team might be more valued than the most valuable Serie A team soon. So we've gone over the brief timeline, but I haven't shown much reasoning. While I did mention issues such as Melandri law and managerial instability, there's more to it. To start, many of Italy's stadiums are really old. 1926, 1937, 1959. Wait, why is it named after Maradona? 1963, 1927, 1932. 6 out of 10 largest stadiums in Italy are over 60 years old. Only 2 were built in the 21st century. In England, 2019, 2012, 2002, 2006, 2025. 6 out of 10 largest Premier League stadiums were built in the 21st century. Wembley was built in 2007. In France, 2016, 2012, 2015, and 2013. 4 stadiums built in the 21st century, an additional 2 built after 1980. Why is this important? Newer stadiums have better technology, they're better at hosting events, which results in more revenue. Many new Premier League stadiums have entertainment districts. Hotspur and Everton, the two newest stadiums, have expensive entertainment districts. San Siro does, but it's minuscule in comparison. Believe it or not, a vast majority of Serie A stadiums are owned by the municipality, not the team. Roma, Fiorentina, Bologna all do not own their own stadium. Meanwhile, in say Spain, both Madrid, Barcelona, Valencia, all stadiums are privately owned. I think that you and I know the roadblocks that come with this. Another problem is the youth pipeline. In the early 2010s, Italy football had shifted its attention from youth academy and attracting more international talent. On paper, this looks great, as in 2010, Inter Milan, who was overwhelmingly made up of international players, won the Champions League. Talent to compete. However, that is just one symptom of a larger issue. Italian legend Roberto Baggio made many criticisms of the youth systems, even submitting a 900-page document listing his grievances and ideas to reform the system. Do note that this was submitted in 2011. He stated that there was a lack of true grassroots foundations, not academies, but playing in the street. He simply stated, kids don't play on the streets anymore. He had a point. Number of registered footballers has gone up in the past 15 years. It is a massive bottleneck. A study found that in 50 national football leagues, Serie A ranked 49th in minutes given to under 21 players, domestic under 21 players. The MLS was ranked 38th. The Premier League and Bundesliga does rank only a few spots higher, but Germany hasn't advanced to the round of 16 since 2014. Liga 1 is at nearly 8% of players. Baggio also stated there was an obsession with physical size and tactical ability, rather than football IQ and craft. Rather than being able to play freely to their own strengths, kids are treated more as robots. I want to say AI, but at least AI can learn and adapt on its own. Just because someone is big enough doesn't mean they're good. Messi is 5'7". Baggio also states that Italian football tends to hire former stars as coaches. Luigi Di Baggio had a great career, but as a coach for U20 under-21 squad, they won just 28 out of 59 games played, with 13 draws, or a 47.5% win percentage. That's good, if you're the US, but that's completely underwhelming for a historic giant. World Cup winning captain Fabio Cannavaro had a decent managerial career in China, with a combined record of 123, 49, and 39, or a 58.3 win percentage. He was then bought to the Italian system Serie B and went 5, 8, and 10, 21.7. Andrea Pirlo tasked to manage Juventus during the COVID year. He did fine, managing a 65% win rate. For Juventus specifically, that is bad, as not only was it their worst result in nearly a decade, it was the first time since 2010 that Juventus was not in the driver's seat. They still won the Coppa Italia. Okay, I know what you're thinking. What about the women? Well, they're okay. They qualified to the World Cup on several occasions. In 2019, they made the quarterfinals before getting knocked out. In 2023, they only made it as far as the group stage. On the Euro side, and I'm only including tournaments with at least 12 teams competing. So since 2009, they did okay, making the knockouts, but never going as far as a semifinal. But that changed recently in 2025, as they made the semis. So there's hope. Though I don't think it's a good idea to consider them, because women's football has a lot of time to grow. The sport's really in its infancy. So yeah, I'll just say this. We'll keep an eye on the women's game. Now, to answer the question, how do we fix this? How do we raise the next generation of Italian footballers to be the best in the world? The first step would be more willing to be open to change. Baggio's pitch wasn't even given a look by the Italian Football Federation, showing the reluctance to adapt. Being able to have a more open mindset is key in order to carry out reformation. Next is to invest in youth. This doesn't mean to abandon foreign talent, but to simply give more opportunity to younger players, instead of relying on old names. However, while researching, I found that Italy did make changes, as they now field a roster that is under 22 years old in average age. On the topic of player development, we need better management. not legends, but managers with actual experience in the big leagues, or those who are willing to modernize playstyle and prioritize talent over size. Following their 2018 failure, Italy did embrace modern attacking approaches with their hiring of Roberto Mancini, and this greatly helped them win the Euro in 2021. But since his departure, things haven't been going well. Hire another Mancini-like manager, finally stadiums, even building like 2 or 3 privately owned will do wonders. Granted, even 2 will cost billions. Italy football is at a crossroads. The government has acknowledged it's a national crisis, and the Azzurri lags behind its European compatriots and is wasting its talents. I, along with many others, have pointed out the problems and given solutions, but it is up to the Italian Football Federation to take matters into their own hands and restore the country's past glory. And that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, maybe share the video with those who are interested in these types of topics. And do you think Italy will go back to its glory days? Well, tell me in the comments.